Hi everybody, it is Franchise Sports Podcast, and today we're going to be quickly reviewing the teams that won and lost, the trades and the trade deadline. We already have a lot of segments on the trade deadline and the trades, so we're not going to get too into that. And then we're going to finish off the day with a different type of segment. We're going to reveal a little about ourselves, our favorite athletes, favorite teams. We're going to go around the room and ask questions to each other, and you're going to get some answers. So we're going to get into the trade deadline first. Real quickly, the winners and the losers. We're going to start with the winners, and we're going to start with you, Zach. What are your thoughts on it? Who won the trade? What team? We're going to go teams.
I'm going to say that the Houston Rockets were a winner in this past trade deadline. They did acquire Lou Williams, who could put up some firepower for the Houston Rockets. He is a very likely Sixth Man of the Year candidate and is averaging about 20 points per game, so I feel like this could really make the Houston Rockets a dangerous team.
I just want to add in, Lou Williams, I've never seen someone join into a team and do that perfectly, just blend in that easily. He hit 7 3-pointers in his debut. That's crazy. For a guy's first game in a new system, he comes in there, drops 7 3-pointers. That's insane. That's definitely a shout-out to him, but my winning team, you're going to learn later, my favorite NBA team, the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, not because of the trade. Been a Pelican fan. You can see some of the jerseys when we're going to have our jersey clip later in the week. But, yep, bringing in Demarcus Cousins, that got me really excited. Playing alongside with Anthony Davis, two of the best big men in the league, in my opinion, the best two. And it was really good to finalize our big men side of the ball. Now all we need some shooters, a couple more guards, and we could be a really good team. So New Orleans Pelicans, my winner. So Bray, you're going to end it. What team, in your opinion, was the winner of this trade deadline?
I'm going to have to also agree with you, the Pelicans. Demarcus Cousins, what a great add-on to the team. He does average definitely 20-plus points. He can get rebounds. He's just a phenomenal big man. Can really help them out down low. As you said, they do need a shooter now, someone up top to bring up the ball. They did get Jared Jack for the 10 days, see if he does good. If that does work out, they can actually have shooting guard, point guard. They can get their guard that they really need.
Okay, and now we're gonna... So the winners, obviously, the Rockets bringing in Lou, the Pelicans bringing in Boogie. Any more winners in your guys' opinions, or no? Are we getting into the losers?
How about just go right to the losers?
Okay, we're gonna move on to the losers part. Biggest loser in your opinion in this trade deadline, Zach?
Biggest loser, obviously, I would have to say the Sacramento Kings. I think everyone can agree with me on this one. They have one of the best big men in the league for not that much in return compared to the performance that Demarcus Cousins could put up himself. So they basically just gave up most of their team in Demarcus Cousins. So I feel like they're definitely the losers on this trade.
See, myself, I don't see the Kings as the biggest loser because, yes, they gave up Cousins, but then again, they saved $209 million. And I don't know about you guys, but if I was a manager, I am not paying a player $209 million unless his name is LeBron James. Demarcus Cousins, he's a great player some games. He gets emotional some games, as you've been seeing throughout his life, throughout his career in the NBA. And he gets a lot of technicals, and that's what happens sometimes when these players get into the game. But $209 million, they saved $209 million, and they brought in a couple players. So it was a bad trade, obviously, getting rid of Cousins. I'm not going to disagree with that. But if you think about it, $209 million you're saving, and you get some young players. It's not as bad as some people think. Yes, it's bad, but there's a team that I think is the real loser of this trade deadline, and that's the Boston Celtics. You had the opportunity to get Andre Drummond, a solid big man down low. Blake Griffin, one of the best power forwards in the league. You could have got a shooter in Jimmy Butler. You could have got Paul George. But you wouldn't give up Jay Crowder. Are you kidding me? I don't understand it. I really don't. You had the first pick to trade. You don't want the first pick, let's be honest. you really didn't want the first pick because you wanted to trade it. You already have a guard. The top two in this draft are obviously Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball. So you needed a shooter, or you needed another big man like the Pelicans got. But Jay Crowder is going to stop you from getting a Jimmy Butler, from getting a Blake Griffin. I don't see that part of the story. Maybe I'm seeing something wrong in this, but they said that was the difference maker in the trade, and I think that's really, I just can't even get into too much detail on this. They're definitely my losers in my opinion. Bray, what about you?
Yes, I'm gonna have to say a really big loser was probably the Chicago Bulls. They got Anthony Morrow, Cameron Payne, and someone named Joffrey. Some no names for Taj Gibson. He's an okay big man. Doug McDermott. He's a pretty good young shooter and 2018 second round draft pick. I just really think that is really bogus on the Chicago Bulls part. I don't know why you're getting 3 scrubs for some okay guys in the second round draft pick. I mean, you're not going to get anything special in the second round draft pick, but those 2 other guys, they can actually do something special, unlike these 3 scrubs.
Okay, so overall, we summarized our winners and our losers. Our winners were the New Orleans Pelicans. And who was the other winner? Who was the other winner?
The Houston Rockets.
The Houston Rockets. So we got the Houston Rockets and the New Orleans Pelicans are our winners. And our losers, we said the Chicago Bulls, the Sacramento Kings, and the Boston Celtics. And now for the next couple minutes, we're going to go around the room and we're going to tell you guys a little about ourselves and our favorites. So, Bray, we're going to start with you. This is how we're going to do this. We're all going to ask a question, and we're going to go around the room and answer it. And then the next guy's going to answer a question. We'll do this for a couple questions. So I'm going to start it out with favorite NBA team, and I'm going to start with the New Orleans Pelicans as my favorite. Bray, you're up.
I'm going to go with the New York Knicks.
Zach, you're going to finish it?
The Boston Celtics.
And now, Bray, you're going to ask a question, a sports-related question.
I'm going to go favorite point guard. I'm going to say Chris Paul.
I'm going to go Isaiah Thomas.
See, I would love to say Drew Holiday on this one, but he's not my favorite. My favorite is Uncle Drew, Kyrie Irving. Zach, you're going to ask a question.
You know what? If we're just staying with the NBA topic,
We'll go NBA first. I'm gonna move on to another sport.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to go with the best. In your opinion, the best player in the NBA.
By the way, guys, we're gonna put polls on so you guys can vote on yours as well, and we'll see what your thoughts are. So, Zach, back to your question. My bad. You can answer.
Oh, for this year, I'm gonna have to go with James Harden.
In my opinion, best player in the NBA this year, I'm gonna have to give it to Brody, Russell Westbrook.
I'm also going to have to give it to Russell Westbrook, averaging a triple-double.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna ask a little more, a little more complex, I guess. The question is, who is your favorite young athlete in the NBA? So we're talking like, at most, 5 years in their career. And I'm going to have to give it to my man, Devin Booker, on the Phoenix Suns. A great shooter, a great young talent, very athletic. He could actually be the next Steph Curry at his level that he's playing at. Bray, who's your favorite young athlete in the NBA?
I have to give it to Noel. He's a pretty good big man. He just got traded to the Mavs. He can actually change their team. Since Dirk, he's probably going to retire soon. He can just fill in.
Zach, who's your favorite young player?
That would be a little Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek freak is a complete animal, and he's my favorite young player right now.
I'm going to say...
How about let's say favorite old player in the league? How about let's go like 35 plus? Let's go
reverse the tables on him right now. 35 plus. I gotta think of these guys retired by now in my head. You guys start with this one. Zach, you start.
Okay. I would obviously say Paul Pierce, great Boston Celtics legend, but I also want to give some credit to Dirk Nowitzki, who's also one of my favorites.
Don't take too much away from us. Bray, you're up. Who is your favorite old player in the NBA?
Yeah, I'll probably have to go with Dirk.
You have to go with Dirk. I'm gonna have to give this one to. Did Vince Carter retire yet?
No.
No. Vince Carter still plays. I'm gonna have to give it to Vince Carter then. Obviously, some all-time highlights in the dunk contest. He's a great athlete, great, decent shooter, pretty good. He used to give you 20-something a game. He's definitely my favorite old athlete. And this is gonna be the last NBA-related question. We've been talking about who he loves, so now we're gonna reverse the table. Who do you hate the most in the NBA? Because everyone hates someone. You gotta be a hater on someone. Who do you hate the most in the NBA? We're gonna start with. I'm gonna start with myself on this one. There is a lot of people who I hate. Not gonna lie on this one. Who do I hate the most? I'm gonna have to give it to Draymond Green. His unnecessary kicks that he does on people, his trash talking. I just cannot take the guy myself. You guys could comment. I'm gonna put a poll up who could take Draymond Green, who likes him actually. I'm not a fan of him. He's my least favorite in the NBA. Zach, who do you hate the most in the NBA?
Well, I also do hate Draymond Green. I'll also add that. But another hated player, I'm not really a big Steph Curry fan or LeBron. So
You're hating on greatness right now. Who's your least favorite right now? Who do you hate the most in the NBA?
I'm gonna say I hate Meta World Peace. I mean,
come on.
Why you hating on him?
He's just a complete he's like a Draymond Green type player. A lot of technicals. I remember when he had that flagrant foul on James Harden a couple years ago when Harden was on OKC. You know, the guy's like, he's one of those bad boys.
Okay, Bray, we got a Warrior. We got a Laker. We're all in the, what is that, West Coast? I think it's West Coast. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. You gonna switch the tables? Who's your least favorite?
Nah, I'm probably gonna go another Warrior with Steph Curry. I'm just not a big fan of the guy. I mean, he's a good shooter. Don't get me wrong. He does miss he goes like 1 for 3 on threes on that one. Everyone gets freaking like, oh my god, 6 like he makes like 1 6 shot and then he misses like 4. And then on that one, everyone's like, oh my god, he has to be like amazing. Like I just don't like that.
Okay, we do NBA, and now we're going to flip to the other side. We do have a Julius Thomas video, but not a lot going in NFL. We're going to release our mock drafts in a little bit. That should be exciting. Moving on to the NFL side. NFL questions. Zach, we're going to start with you. I'm going to ask the question, though. Who is your favorite NFL quarterback?
My favorite NFL quarterback, I'll have to go with Andrew Luck on this one. He's a great young quarterback. He did have a decently tough year in the past year, but I feel like he'll bounce back and do pretty good. I feel like he's like a borderline elite quarterback, and he is my favorite.
Bray, what about you?
I'm gonna have to go with Ben Roethlisberger. He is a good player. He does have a Super Bowl. I just really like the guy.
He actually has 2 Super Bowls, by the way.
I said he has a Super Bowl.
Okay, I'm going to end it with this one. My favorite quarterback, I'm going to have to say out of Purdue, is it? I think out of Purdue. I'm going to have to give this one to Drew Brees. I loved watching him when I was growing up. He's a great quarterback. He won a couple rings probably every now and then. You could correct. I think I'm pretty sure he beat Peyton Manning. I remember watching. He's a great all-time quarterback. He's still doing great. His defense, unfortunately, is not too good, and that's why the team's not good. It's not his fault. And he's my favorite quarterback. We're gonna move on to a next question that is gonna be asked by the one and only
Bray.
I'm gonna have
Right.
to go. Who is your favorite team? I'm gonna have to go with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's everyone's favorite team here is the Dallas Cowboys. New question. Everyone's favorite's the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm gonna go favorite running back, and I'm gonna say Adrian Peterson. I respect the guy. I think he could be a future Hall of Famer.
Could be. He's a definite Hall of
Okay,
Famer.
he should be a future Hall of Famer. I mean, if he goes to a pretty good team and gets a solid line, I think he'll actually put up some decent stats.
Okay, now it's time for my favorite running back. Obviously, because I'm a Cowboy fan, I could say Ezekiel Elliott, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I think it would be quite obvious. So another running back who I do like is Devontae Freeman. He's a very quick and agile back, and he's starting to become an elite running back. So I'm looking to watch out for him more in the future, and maybe he could turn into one of the best backs in the league. It's looking like he's up there right now.
My favorite running back is a sleeper. Not a lot of people have this as a favorite, but I'm going to have to give it to the rookie last year, Jordan Howard. He is very good. He's doing amazing on the Chicago Bears. Not a lot of people have done that other than Walter Payton, but a great running back. You just look up his stats. He had a great year. You could take him in fantasy. He's probably going to be one of my sleepers, just because not a lot of people are going to say Jordan Howard over a guy like all those other names out there, like DeMarco Murray, Le'Veon Bell. So Jordan Howard, my favorite running back. Zach, we're going to have a question out of you.
How about let's go to favorite wide receiver? I'll start it off. I don't act like I'm a Falcons fan on this one, but I do really love Julio Jones. He came out of Alabama, and he's just been one of the best receivers in the league ever since. So he grabbed my attention, and now I kind of like him. So he's my favorite wide receiver. How about you, Bri?
I'm gonna have to go Jordy Nelson. I've always been a big fan of him. He's pretty good right now, and I'm just gonna have to say Jordy Nelson.
I have a lot of favorite receivers, but if I had to pick one that stands out the most, I'm going to have to give it to my man who's been getting hurt left and right the last couple of years, Mr. Alshon Jeffrey. His size, his strength when he catches the ball and brings it in is just incredible. His height, you ever see how big the guy's hands are? Oh my God, dude, don't even get me started on his hands. That's not what she said, but either way, he's just an incredible receiver. If he was on a good team, you put him on the Patriots, you put him on the Saints, he does amazing. Let's get over it. He's a great guy, great receiver. The only thing he did wrong was promise the Super Bowl to Chicago. That was the only thing he's ever done wrong in his career. Other than that, he's a great receiver and he's my favorite. Now we're going to move on. Last round of questions. Bray, we'll start with you this time. What's your last? You're going to finish it up. We'll all ask one more question.
I'm gonna say best defensive player. I meant favorite defensive player, and I'm gonna have to give it to Sean Lee. He's on my favorite team, but I just really like the guy. He's a tackle machine. He can really get in the holes and really get the running back. I just really like the guy.
Okay, so we could all obviously answer with Cowboys right now, but that wouldn't be exciting to any of the viewers. So we're going to re-ask that question to yourself. Who is your favorite defensive player? You can't be picking favorite teams out here. I mean, it's like asking a Giant fan who's your favorite running back. I don't even know who the Giants running back is at this point, but like, who's your favorite quarterback? Eli. Who's your favorite receiver? Odell. That's not exciting. So we're gonna reevaluate that question. Who's your favorite defensive player?
I'm gonna go on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Timmons. I actually do like the guy. I just like he's actually pretty good. He also does have a Super Bowl.
Okay, my favorite defensive player. Are we gonna go that played last year or no? This is just over like the last couple of years. Well-
Just who still plays. Who still plays.
Okay, well, he did miss last season, but a phenomenal, in my opinion, one of the best all-time defensive linemen, and that is J.J. Watt. He forces double teams. He gets by him. He gets by anybody. The guy is incredible. I really missed watching defenses play without him on it this year. Great player. He's definitely my favorite defensive player. Zach, we're going to end it with you on this episode. Who's your favorite defensive player?
My favorite defensive player is the one and only Patrick Peterson. He's a very fast and elite cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals, as you may know. And he doesn't get many picks, but he's a very good cornerback. The stats kind of lie on how good he actually is. So that's basically it.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in to Franchise Sports Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Franchise Sports Podcast, or our editing page at Franchise Sports. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. Like the video, and you can comment what you want to see us talk about next. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm not sure on the video yet, but we'll be posting it once it's available. See you guys next time.
You guys can start